Welcome to Wonderland. There's literally stuff spread out all over the place. I want to get to pretty much everything today. This is called the Roar-o-Saurus, and it's one of the newest rides here at the park. Little Mexico is also home to my all-time favorite attraction inside the entire park. Here is Cinderella's castle. I want to know what's inside the castle here. Right now we are in Glen, New Hampshire at the Storyland theme park. Now Storyland is typically known as a theme park for younger kids, but today, two grown adults are gonna take you on a tour of the park. The setup for this park is quite interesting. You literally walk out. You walk in here to pay, and then you walk out, and you're just kind of in like the middle of the woods, but I mean, it kind of goes with like the fantasy theme. Like you're just in the middle of the woods and you're greeted by Humpty Dumpty. This Humpty Dumpty is pretty iconic here at Storyland, but I'll be quite honest, he's absolutely terrifying. Look at the way his eyes just look back and forth. Oh, he's like staring. Oh, he's staring at me. I'm gonna just walk away from Humpty Dumpty and we'll go explore the rest of the park. This is like Storyland's central hub, but like it's not like a Disney park where there's different like spokes and different pathways to go down. It's kind of all over the place. There's so many different paths and like different ways you can go down, but I think we're gonna head down this way and just make a loop around the entire park. Here's a map of the park just to give you an idea of how big this place is. There is literally stuff spread out all over the place. I want to get to pretty much everything today. From up here on the bridge, you can get a pretty good look at Dr. Geyser's raft ride. And on the other side of the bridge, you can see the antique cars, as well as some of the trains they have. Now, I don't know if this is what's intended, but to me, that man right there, that was always Dr. Geyser. I don't know if it actually is, but in my mind, that was always Dr. Geyser. The Bamboo Chutes is one of the many iconic rides here at Storyland, but unfortunately, it looks like it's undergoing a little bit of refurbishment today, so I don't think we're gonna be riding the Bamboo Chutes. I will say though, like the Chinese style theming here is really cool. Here's like a weird section where the park just splits. You can either go down this way to like the farm and like undersea area, or this way to like, it's kind of themed to like around the world. So you can see like, there's like an Arabian style building and then like a ice cave right there. I think we're gonna go down this way, then we'll come back down and loop around to this area. As we walk around the park, I'll share a little bit of secrets and history with you. Starting off with the Loopy Lab. This actually used to be a dark ride called Voyage to the Moon. If you look it up on YouTube, the dark ride was really, really cool. Now it's been turned into like a ball pit area and a theater. I think the dark ride was way cooler than this is. Out towards the back here, they have this giant submarine with a huge octopus on top of it. This is kind of like a little splash pad zone. Quite a noisy splash pad area. What's really cool about the submarine though, is there's little cannons right there, and you can control those cannons from inside and squirt some of the people running around here. So you sit in like this little pod section right here, and there's cameras on top of all those hoses, and look, those kids are squirting all the other kids right here. Inside the submarine isn't the most pleasant smell in the universe, so I think we're gonna pass on going inside the submarine today. Along with the undersea theme stuff, they also have a Humpty Dumpty meet and greet over here, because that, you know, that makes sense, right? Humpty Dumpty under the sea. That's the same story, right? I don't know. We're gonna continue. As we move on from the undersea themed area, we move into a quite confusing themed area. You have a farm this way, and then dinosaur stuff this way. There's a few rides tucked away back here, including this thing, the Crazy Barn. It literally puts you up in the air and just spins you around. They have that. And then they have this. It's a tractor ride. It's kind of like the antique cars, but it's like themed around a farm. Moving on from the farm themed section, we're gonna move into the dinosaur themed section. The dinosaur themed part is it only consists of this like dinosaur racing game and then this giant coaster right here. Well, I mean, it's really not that giant, but like to a kid, that's like a huge roller coaster. This is called the Roar-o-Saurus, and it's one of the newest rides here at the park. It's also one of the only roller coasters. There's two roller coasters. There's this one and another that we'll show off later on. It's cool to get to the load station. You actually have to go underneath the tracks. Kind of cool. You get like a inside peek at the roller coaster. Looks like the maintenance workers have showed up. I think the ride is broken down. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the ride. It's just not working, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to skip the Roar-o-Saurus today, but don't worry, There's plenty of other attractions here at Storyland. Now that we've finished this section, we have to walk back through like the underwater themed area to get to the rest of the park. It's not like a complete loop here. If you try to make a loop around this park, you're gonna miss a bunch of things. So make sure you go down every little branch. Sorry if it seems like we're jumping from like one section to another section to another section. That's just kind of how this park is set up. Like it's just one thing here, one thing here, one thing here. There's really no transitions between each land, I guess, like land you'd call it. So it's very hard to kind of do like a vlog and do transitions between lands. So we're kind of just gonna jump from section to section. Like right now, we're gonna jump from the Loopy Lab to this like around the world theme section. You start off with like these little Dutch shoes and like a Dutch village. Inside the little Dutch village, you can make your own sundae, and today's a pretty good day for a sundae. I could go for a sundae. It's hot out here, and the desert theming isn't really helping. That's making me feel more hot. But if I want to cool off, you can always go on the polar coaster. As a kid, this always confused me because I always thought this was more fitting at like Santa's village or something. Man, that's a fun ride. I honestly forgot how like rickety and how bumpy it is. It really tosses you around. I forgot I haven't been on that ride probably 10 years. That's a fun coaster, fun little coaster. Here's a Storyland icon. This poor cow that it's constantly getting milked. No, this isn't like a real cow, and it doesn't shoot out real milk. It squirts out water if you grab its udders down there. It's a pretty weird concept for a theme park, but this is like an iconic piece of Storyland right here. This is another one of the newest rides here at the park. It's called Splash Battle Pharaoh's Reign, and honestly, the theming here is pretty top quality for Storyland. I mean, they do a pretty good job with the theming, but like this is some next level stuff right here. Like look at this Sphinx right here. Or just the detail in the carvings. And they have all kinds of like hieroglyphs and different carvings around here. And like this looks like something straight out of like Indiana Jones. Like I feel like if I press like a gemstone or something, like something cool is gonna happen. And the ride itself has some pretty good theming as well. I mean, it essentially just goes around in a circle and you squirt these guns. You can come over here and you can like squirt the people riding in the boats if you want. You can crank this and squirt the people in the boats. But the ride just essentially goes around in a circle, but in the center, like you have a Sphinx here and then like this giant pillar right here, and it all squirts water. So if you want to get soaking wet, come on this ride because you're guaranteed to walk out with some water all over you. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of this area. I love theming at theme parks, and when it's done right, I'm all about it. Right next to the Splash Battle is another ride, and if you didn't see this sign and didn't know it was here, you'd probably miss it because it's tucked away in the back. Now this is called the Raptor Safari. This actually used to be a regular safari with like lions and rhinos and gorillas and all that kind of stuff. Of course they were animatronics, but now it's been rethemed to dinosaurs. I'm kind of bummed out to see the original safari go, but I'm interested in seeing the dinosaurs. Here's our safari Jeep. Let's go look for some dinosaurs. Tresh, let's look for some dinosaurs.
I see one.
Oh, you see a dinosaur? No way. Now, like I said, this used to be an animal safari, but now it's been turned into a dinosaur safari, so I'm super interested to see what the differences are. This huge dinosaur, I have to duck down just to show how big this guy is. He's a huge animatronic figure. I love the simple animatronics like this. They're just pretty cool. They add a little extra something to rides like this. I will say, the new Dinosaur Safari, pretty cool ride. I mean, I'm old school, so of course I like the original better. I think what they should have done is split the ride into two. Keep the original Safari, and then build the Dinosaur Safari somewhere closer to the Roar-o-Saurus roller coaster. But that's just me trying to fix theme parks. But overall, pretty fun ride. Next up on our tour of Storyland is the Little Mexico section. This is probably one of my favorite like entire sections. Like I just love like, you know, the Western and Mexico style theming here. Of course, no Western/Mexico themed section wouldn't be complete without a shooting gallery. You can put a couple quarters in the machine here, pick up a rifle, and start shooting. They have some pretty cool targets set up in here, and I really love the water feature. I don't know what it is. Water features are just fun. Little Mexico is also home to my all-time favorite attraction inside the entire park, the Los Bravos Mine. The Los Bravos Mine is a really, really cool walk-through attraction. They have all kinds of fun little gags in there, and you take a tour of the mine.
Over here, some fresh silver from yesterday. If you want, you can touch it. Please don't pick it up or try to put it in your mouth.
Some silver right there. Uh-oh, we're going deeper into the mine.
Over here is Jose and Manuel digging some silver, but sometimes they can't open the rocks. They have to blow it up with dynamite. Would you like to see that one?
Sure.
Okay.
While we're over by the Los Bravos Mine, figured we'd do a little bit of mining ourselves. We're gonna pan for some gold. Let's pan for gold!
All right, so what do I do?
Dump it in.
Like,
It says right there on the directions.
just dump it right in?
Yeah. The whole thing, like that. Now here we can keep that to store our gems in. Here, I'll hold on to the trusty bag. Now you dip it in the water and you like sift it.
Oh. Ooh, that's splashy.
You gotta sift all the dirt out and then you get some cool jewels. I'd say that this is probably one of like the best souvenirs here at the park. It's like an activity and you get to bring home some cool rocks. Of course, every mining town has to have a jail.
What are you in jail for?
Having too much fun at Storyland. Now that we're leaving Little Mexico, we're heading in to Cinderella's Kingdom. We're very welcomed to the kingdom by this wonderful welcome sign. This is like every little girl's dream right here. It's all themed to like princesses and castles. You can even ride Cinderella's pumpkin coach right here, but you can't ride it right now. The theming in Cinderella's Kingdom is really, really cool, but of course, the kingdom isn't complete without a castle. And here is Cinderella's castle. Usually there's a meet and greet inside, but I think Cinderella is taking a break right now. She's been meeting visitors all day. I guess that'd be pretty tiring, meeting guests all day long. The castle has quite an interesting design, but like the courtyard area, like this little flower garden and the fence work, this is a really, really nice area of the park. And if you walk up here, you can get a pretty solid view of like the Cinderella Kingdom area right here. Now you'd think something like this, like a castle, like the icon of the park, would be like right front center. No, this is tucked away in like the furthest back corner of the park. So if you're looking for the castle, it's in the back corner. You wouldn't expect it to be back here, but it is. As we were standing here talking, it looks like Cinderella has opened up her doors for some visitors. I want to know what's inside the castle here. On display, they have Cinderella's glass slipper. This is a pretty cool like meet and greet area. Obviously Cinderella will sit in the chair. It looks like a meet and greet for Santa Claus. Now it's getting kind of jammed inside Cinderella's castle and she's not even greeting guests at the moment. So I think we're gonna move on to the rest of the park. Maybe we'll come back later and meet Cinderella. It seems like some pirates have invaded Cinderella's Kingdom. This is Buccaneer Bay and they have a really cool pirate ride over here. While you're waiting in line, they have this animatronic crow who sits here and plays the harmonica from time to time.
Step aboard the Buccaneer. Think I can, lad. Better think I can.
Here is the Storyland pirate ship. It's a pretty cool little attraction. You can just hop aboard the boat right here. It's actually a free floating boat. I mean, I assume it's on some sort of a track. You get to sit down there. You use the rowing mechanism to help the ship move.
Looks like we'll be coming upon Blackbeard's fortress. Maybe if we stay quiet, he won't notice. Shiver me timbers, he found us, mateys. We have to get out of here. Row faster. Faster, I say, faster. I hope you're eating your Wheaties this morning, my goodness.
Tresh, row fast, row
It's
fast.
hitting my knees.
Row fast.
Is there anybody out there that's brave enough to swim through the shark-infested waters, dodge the crocodiles, and get that for me? Us? No one? Well, looks like when Storyland closes, I'm coming back to get it all for myself.
This is a good view of the pirate ship ride vehicle. I'm a huge fan of pirates. I've always been a huge fan of pirates. As a kid, that was going out on a real ship to me. That was like going out on the high seas on a real pirate adventure. It's a really cool ride vehicle. Like how they put that together, they made this whole ride. They really did a good job with the pirate ride here at Storyland. It's one of my personal favorites for sure. As we leave Cinderella's Kingdom, we enter a land themed to all kinds of classic storybooks. They have the Three Little Pigs houses, but these are not just a decoration or like a display. They actually have 3 little pigs that live inside this enclosure. They have quite a number of farm animals here. I'm not gonna go in depth and analyze all the farm animals because they're pretty common. So we're gonna continue on to this like Alice in Wonderland theme section. Welcome to Wonderland. The only way to get inside Wonderland is to crawl through the rabbit hole. Come on, through the rabbit hole, let's go. Of course, every theme park has to have a teacup ride, and what better place to put it than in Wonderland. Now, I'm not very educated in the world of fairy tales, so someone in the comments below, tell me who lives in a pumpkin. This is straight up nightmare fuel. It says caution, wolf in Granny's bed. Yeah, definitely use caution. Look at that. Ugh. Oh, don't look at me. Don't look at me. That wolf is nightmare fuel, and I think the scariest thing is that he just comes alive. Look, he just pops his head up. Like that's terrifying. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna have a nightmare tonight. Here's another Storyland icon right here. This giant tree playground thing. I remember playing on this for hours when I was a kid. That sound right there is the iconic sound of Storyland. If you've ever been here, you'll know what I'm talking about. This is Tim, the talking tree. You can use a piece of chalk and write your name on his branches. Nailed it. Well, we made it back to where we started the video. There's Humpty Dumpty, and there's the little entrance plaza. Now there's one more weird little section we have to hit just before we exit the park. Just before you exit the park is where you'll find the antique cars. This is kind of an interesting place to put the antique cars. I feel like it gets overlooked because everyone's just focused on leaving the park. They also have this animatronic stage show that's pretty similar to Kitchen Cabaret that used to be at Epcot. I feel like this would fit better in the back of the park where the farm theme section is, but it's right here in the front of the park. I'm a big fan of animatronics, and I don't really know what these guys are all about, but there's just 2 guys sitting in a car, just kind of hanging out. Maybe they're watching the antique cars go by. Well, we've pretty much seen everything here at Storyland. We've walked around the park, we've gone on a few rides, but no theme park experience is complete without exiting through the gift shop. Of course, there's a bunch of like stuffed animals and candy just to give the kids some more candy before they head out, get them all hyped up for the car ride home. I'm always a big fan of like theme park specific merchandise, especially at small theme parks like this. And they have no shortage of Storyland themed merchandise, magnets, whistles, keychains, pretty much every type of merchandise, they got it. And it's all Storyland themed. If you didn't get enough of creepy Humpty Dumpty during your day at Storyland, you can always bring a creepy Humpty Dumpty home, and you can see him every day. He can just stare at you and haunt your nightmares. So I think that just about does it for the Storyland gift shop. Let's make our way back outside and wrap this video up. Thank you so much for joining me as we wandered around the Storyland theme park in Glen, New Hampshire. If you like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to support future adventures just like this one, make sure to check out patreon.com/BenLawrence, where for as little as $1 a month, you can gain access to exclusive behind-the-scenes bonus features. Or get yourself a t-shirt or a hat over on benlawrence.spreadshirt.com. If you want to see more videos just like this one and more Storyland videos in the future, make sure to hit the subscribe button.